And we're live. Guess what? The news of the demise of UConn and Dan Hurley were grossly exaggerated. So, as I said in my X post, suck it, Goodman, in Field of 68. You're locked on.
You are Locked On UConn, your daily podcast on the UConn Huskies, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On UConn your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Before we dive into today's show, just want to say, even though we're live, the podcast has grown so much, and it's because people like you, we have about 20-something folks right now in the live show, and that'll grow as the hour grows on. We're proud to say we're the only daily podcast that is covering both UConn men's and women's basketball. It is absolutely the basketball capital of the world. I have my Stores Connecticut basketball capital of the world shirt right here. So just to show you that, we have our gratitude on lock. We are giving 10% of our revenue to Husky Ticket Project, helping send kids to UConn games. We know there were kids there today. Don't know exactly where they came from and where they're from, but we're super excited about that. That makes a difference. We also do donations to Bleeding Blue for Good, helping support our NIL initiatives. If you're enjoying the show right now, if you're joining us live, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check on your audio versions. Take out your phone. Click on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Could be Amazon, could be iHeartRadio, whatever. Follow the show. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can get a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet and get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. I bet some folks bet UConn plus minus 3.5, and that last fall at the game where Haas got those two free throws might have helped you guys win a little money. And I see some folks in the backstage. I see you, Tyler, excited about that. So Dan was like, you should have just left the game end. But that's the one time we'll disagree with our coach Dan Hurley, and I'm happy with that foul. So I believe I got it in at 4, so I got a push, which I'm totally fine with. A push is better than a loss, as you will know with betting. So look, guys, this was a great game for UConn because it just was a grind. It is a grinded out game. They didn't have their best player. Don't let them tell you that Norchad Armir and Jeremy Roach, if they had VJ Edgecombe tonight, we probably lose that game. If we had Alex Karaban, I think it goes back to us. So I think for us right now, the fact that we took advantage of the opportunity was the biggest thing. This was a must win, an absolute must win, because now the narrative can change away from whatever BS Fox Sports put on before the pregame about how the bad taste in their mouth. They were trying to bait Dan Hurley again. I love Bill Raftery, but that was kind of like an interesting video to start the game. And then going into it, you get out, you're down like 7-0, and you guys, it feels like you haven't even warmed up. 19-8, chipped away. It was a classic game for this team that they can hang their hat on, and they can start to look at what it takes to win ball games at this level, at the top 25, top 15, top 10 level, because that Baylor team, even without some pieces, was tough. And we're going to talk about multiple times in this game where UConn could have put them away. And yes, did I feel like we missed some opportunities? Yes, but I also have to give credit to Scott Drew and Baylor's team. They sidestepped some landmines, and they kept themselves in this game as long as possible. All right, we got some people waiting. Let's go first come, first serve. Doug, let's get you in, man. What'd you think of the game?
Great game. Very good. I'll be really quick tonight.
Sure, brother.
Notice that, to me at least, the offense is starting to get that cohesion going. A lot better on some of the plays they were running. Thank goodness Mahaney looks like maybe he's starting to thaw out a little bit and get kind of hot. So that would be great. Defense 100% look better.
Sure.
That's a good thing. So definitely going in the right direction. Just think, this is, I hope they just look at this as step one. I hope they don't get full of themselves, right, and go to Texas and just think that they're going to win it. So they got to.
Doug, what about this game would make any of the guys on this team be full of themselves? Like, I'm just saying, like, think about it from that perspective.
No, I hear you. I just want to make I'm hoping that you just keep the fire going. Right, keep the foot to the pedal, don't let up, and it was a great night. So that's it for me tonight. So
I appreciate you, man. Well, listen, thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate you for always kind of coming in on these live shows. I agree with Doug. I hope we can kind of learn from this and move forward. So we're gonna get Doug out of there and go to Bernie. What's up, Bernie? What you got?
Okay, first of all, James Breeding just likes to be the star of the show, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All the fellows. I mean, once again, James Breeding, and again, somebody give him some bad poi next time. Anyway, I am really proud of this team. The way they fought, the way that they grinded and came up with the win. Baylor is such a good team. They can kill. I mean, they beat St. John's in the Bahamas, and the way they can rebound. I mean, UConn stuck with them on the boards. That was impressive. And to do it without Karaban on that court, that should give them confidence that, yes, they can play without their senior leader on that court. McNeeley stepped up big time tonight. He was clutch. Johnson, you know what? I might have to eat crow. Johnson stepped up tonight. Yes, he fouled out, but he played really well tonight. And Mahaney himself, he had 6 straight points. And he played pretty well tonight. They played well. Yes, they had some issues with everything else like that. They had some issues, with Baylor coming back, but that's Baylor. Baylor's always going to come back. That's how Scott Drew is. He's a great head coach, and Baylor's a very tough team to beat. But, man, this team, it reminded me so much of last year's team and how they fought and fought and fought. When they were down, they always came back, and that's what they did. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to ask you a question. What did you think of the lineup combination of having Sampson and Terrace in there at the same time? That was a little wrinkle that Dan put in there, and Bill Raftery commented and said, "I think Danny's found something here," because I think what that did was Sampson can cover quicker wings and kind of keep him away from the basket, so it kind of kept him in the game longer. And Terrace was kind of like the anchor down low, so that made me feel pretty comfortable with the two of them playing together. You didn't see a lot of that in the past with either Adama or Klingon or Klingon in
I always wondered why wouldn't Hurley play both of them at the same time? Because that would have been interesting. But having them both in the game, it helped them. They could help with their rebounding because, again, if he played just one of them, I think Baylor would just kill them on the boards. And the way they fought on the boards was fantastic. And it was just a very impressive game against a team from the quote-unquote best conference in the country. And the Big East is really killing it. And like right now, Creighton leads by 8 over Kansas in Omaha. And Marquette is down 9 to Iowa State right now. So
I don't expect us to do a sweep the way SEC is literally putting the nail in the coffin.
Did you say North Carolina? North Carolina is getting ripped.
It's getting a little closer down the stretch, but to make it respectable, but they're still getting beat by double digits.
I mean, how come nobody's complaining about North Carolina? That's the thing that really bothers me.
They're going to tomorrow when they're 4-4. All right, Bernie, we got a ton of people waiting, so I'm gonna drop you off. I really appreciate you, brother. Okay.
All right, I'll talk and go UConn.
Yes, sir. All right, Tyler. What's up, brother?
Yeah, good win. I mean, we really need this W. Bernie seems very, very happy.
Bernie's fired up. I love it.
Yeah, no, I love Bernie. Go Bernie. Definitely down the stretch, man. There was definitely some careless errors. Like they definitely made this game tighter than it had to be. Sure. I sent you some clips on Twitter. Watch them later, I guess.
I watched them already.
Yeah. No, I mean they were down early and they were. What were they down like 9-2 or 7-2? And I'm just like, shit, this is not going to go well. But yeah, they showed resolve. Dude, I loved Hurley getting so fired up for Mahaney. Dude, choked me up because it's just like we've all been on Mahaney's ass, like, oh man, he sucks, and then just like Hurley's not giving up on him, and like, you know, he's having a big night, and Hurley's just there, like, you know, being his biggest cheerleader is awesome. So that was just like, I was like, yeah, it was just like, I choked me up just like for Mahaney to have that moment. Yeah, what else? I don't know. I was totally shocked by the Sampson and Reed thing. Like, I almost had to go back and watch. Did we like? Was that? What did you think of that? Did it work? I felt like I was
Reed. I thought it worked. I think part of it is, and they're going to look at the film and everything, but for small doses, like think about like the media timeouts from like or maybe even 2 media timeouts from like the 16 minutes to the 8-minute stretch. It looked like that stabilized some of the defense in terms of the ability to get some rebounds and get out. It also kept Sampson out of foul trouble because Terrace didn't have a ton of fouls tonight. And, you know, even though Terrace probably could have done more, they weren't really finding him as much. And I don't know. I don't know how often or how much they're going to do this, but I definitely feel like they found a little wrinkle they can throw at teams because Sampson, as we all know, he's a different big. He's a different big. He's not slow-footed. I think it would actually put a little less pressure on Sampson to have him involved in like almost like as a non-offensive threat power forward, because then he can kind of just roam and do the tracking blocks like he did in the second half. I think it also helps that happens because then you get guys rotating to the basket a little faster because they know they have Terrace back there kind of occupying the center. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like some of that worked. We'll find out if they enjoyed it. I think you could see that it worked out at least a little bit anecdotally, but we'll find out because they're very analytical.
Yeah, I mean, they got the W. This is the biggest thing, and you know, we're UConn. We don't celebrate. We shouldn't celebrate. Like, this is a big win for the team, but we expected to win tonight. And you know, I feel like it made it a little bit harder than you know, like you said. Like I feel like there was these moments where they got like 4, 5, 6, and you just wanted them to step on their neck, you know, and get this mixed up, and they would, you know, give up an and one or something. Or
Tyler,
listen
to this, and then I'm going to get Dan in here, and he's going to join us for the rest of the show because I know he went to Ted's, and I see him backstage there. And then I want to get my buddy Brian Frederick from Meriden Love on here because I see him backstage too. But look, listen to this. I wrote down these, and I know it's at the end of this, but the observations I had, and I was worried that they were going to lose this game based off of a few of these points. At 31-28, they Solo hits a 3. I felt like it was a turning point in the first half where they make a deflection. It somehow gets ricocheted over to a wide open Baylor guy. He hits a 3. It's tied again. You could feel the room kind of deflate. And then, like, following that, you're thinking about at 44-39, they force a bad shot by Omier. He follows it up with they force a bad 3 at the end of a shot clock. Omier follows it up with a dunk and an and one. So now you're got a 5-point lead. It could have been to 7 or 8, and then it's cut to 2. Then the third moment was 52-47. They're on a 5-0 run because Jaden Ross it essentially doesn't have a brain for 3 possessions. I love Jaden Ross, but he turns the ball over twice. He gets a foul on an and one, a turnover, a tied to layup. It's tied. Then the fourth moment, they go on another 5-0 run. They're up 57-52. 2 bigs. Danny's got everything going. You know, Aidan's playing really well, and it kind of stays stabilized till about 61-57, whether that 3 counted until later. So it actually ended up being 64-62. But there was a solo ball turnover that set up a 3 that instead of it being 64-57, it was instead of being 61-57 and then Liam hitting a 3, it could have ballooned to 8. There were multiple times where they could have had these what Evan Maya calls kill shots. Yes. And they ended up kind of letting Baylor back in. And I give all credit to Baylor for staying tough, but some of those were self-inflicted. Those 4 in particular, because if you don't have those 4, this is a game that is in the 7 or 8 point range, 10, maybe 12. We can't expect them to, plug the hole on all of those 4, but just like 2 of them. Two of those. Just 2. Exactly. How about 1? Just 1. Then just 1. But the good teams, you're going to plug 2 of those holes and you win this game by 10, right? Like that's right. And listen, the talent is undeniable. It's just the cohesion. Like they're young, they make careless mistakes, but I just feel you can tell they're trying. And regarding Ross, like I think he just needs to ratchet it down a little bit. He's just so high energy when he gets out there. He just needs to learn to not always go for the big play.
That's my take on him. And some careless turnovers tonight by him.
Without a doubt. Is
What's
Dan
up,
Meehan,
Dan?
or is he available, or is he talking to some peeps at Ted's? What's
What
up,
you
bro?
got, Dan?
You gotta unmute your own mic, dude. We can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Oh, we hear you now.
We're live from the basketball world. I'm here with one of my best friends, the best high school basketball coach in America, Tim Cooper.
I remember him.
Cool. What's up, Tim?
Win. A great win for the UConn Huskies tonight. I think spread 2.5, 4.5.
All right, bro. I have to drop you. I love you, but we can't hear a word you're saying. Try to get a better spot. Let's go to B Fred. What's up, dude?
What's going on?
How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're just fine. Better than the last guy. I love Dan, but I didn't hear anything.
Trying to get out of store is a little crazy.
Yeah, man. What'd you think? What you got for us?
It was a dogfight for 2 halves.
Absolutely, man. Who stood out for you? I mean, you sent me a text about Aidan. I thought that was
I mean, to me that was one of the biggest, players of the game tonight. Was just him just kind of breaking out and just, showing what he can do.
For sure.
Without a doubt, man. Like Tyler mentioned it earlier, like that was so cool. And I seeing Dan like lose his mind over Aidan, because look, I mean, we all are. I think we're all fair. Like, listen, I've known you for years, Brian. Tyler's been on the show a bunch. Like, I don't think anybody is literally trying to circle Aidan out. But like the bottom line is, Dan's talked about this. You need ROI, right? What's the return on investment? And if you're not performing, you have to call a spade, and he hasn't performed. And tonight, not only did he break out offensively, I thought his defense was good. He fouled a couple times early, but once he got his feet wet, he walled up great on defense. He moved his feet. I thought he kind of minimized some of his physical, issues in terms of he's probably not the quickest kid in the world, but man, his anticipation, he beat guys to the spot. Like those were things that I found very encouraging going forward, because it's only going to get tougher as we play bigger, faster guards.
Absolutely. This was his best overall performance, so it was definitely encouraging. Baylor's got a lot of athletic guys, so I mean, he stepped up tonight, and when we needed him, no Karaban, and the young pup stepped up.
Absolutely, brother. Are you stuck in traffic right now?
Yeah, it's a little touch and go right now.
Traffic.
I'm trying not to hit the guy in front of me, so
I feel you. Are you rocking the very sweet the shooting shirt that I forget who put that out?
Chris Smith got it into fruition, so it came to light, and I'm rocking it.
Oh yes, the patron saint of UConn swag. We have to recognize our merit and love there. By the way, update: Creighton 41, Kansas 28.
I saw that they were up like 11 early. Yep,
love it. All right, brother. Listen, have a safe ride home. I really appreciate you jumping on. We'll talk soon. I always hit you up, and like I said, don't hit that guy in front of you, and keep it safe.
Great job. Keep up the good work, fellas.
All right, brother. All right, Steve. You haven't been on yet. Let's go.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
Great win tonight.
Oh, for sure.
And I agree with the last guy about Mahaney. The more shots he makes that goes in, the more confidence he will get in. And if we can get 9 to 11 points for him throughout the year, we win a lot of games. And yes, even though Johnson fouled out, him scoring 13 points I thought was very huge.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree. I think I thought Sampson played the best he's played all year, easily. He was a force on defense. They didn't push him around. There was quite a bit of what I felt like were legitimate fouls on him, and there was a couple touchy ones. But listen, I can live with him fouling out with like a minute to go in the game. Yeah. I just don't need him to foul out with like 7 minutes to go, and then puts Dan in that pickle of like, who do you play? especially with no Alex Karaban, so you couldn't play even a small lineup tonight. So, yeah, man, I thought he did great. I also thought some of the other observations were they won, but I was shocked, and I because it was in my thumbnail for the night. I'm surprised Ahmad Noel got no run tonight.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah,
I was surprised by
that
that.
guy was shocked because I think in some games, I don't know if they will do because of his size, he's kind of small, but I think he would be a good point guard.
Yeah, I don't honestly know. I don't really think it matters about his size. I think Dan in these games, especially like when it comes to the seniority of the guys that he's playing, he's really trying to hope and pray that a guy like Aidan, a guy like Haas, who I was, we're not supposed to curse on the show right now. I've already got my hand slapped on that. So make sure no one drops any more any F-bombs on the show tonight. But I was cursing on Haas earlier, but I love Haas. Like if Haas was in this room right now, I'd be like, dude, I love you. You're my boy. But dude, a couple of plays, I was just like, oh my God, like you got to hit open shots. These are the opportunities. Like these are the things. These are the issues that I've had with the point guard position. And I thought Haas was a little bit deficient tonight. He did hit some big free throws down the stretch. Although I will blame him for me not winning my bet tonight and just pushing because he missed the free throw late that would have pushed it to 5. I had a 4-point spread versus 3.5. But hey, man, I don't care about that. UConn got the win, so it's all good in the hood. Man, like that's my thing is I don't really it shouldn't be. I don't think it's about size, dude, because Haas is a small guard too.
They're like the same size, I think. Same height.
Yeah, and McNeeley he plays like he's a junior.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's their best player with that when Karaban's out. Him
for sure.
Oh, is really good, but yeah, Liam, he looks the part.
Well, I think Alex Karaban is a little better defensively and all around because he has more experience. But I think McNeeley in time can be a better shooter.
Yeah, I you know what I think they're doing though, and Steve, I'm going to drop you for a second because I want to bring in Dan again because I think he's got some better signal. But I appreciate you, brother. Stick on, stay on in the chat. I'm going to bring Dan in, but I think what they're doing with Liam is essentially like you're Cam Spencer, bro. Like just shoot when you can.
Yeah, he's like a hybrid of Alex and Cam. He played both types of ways. He's a little bit better with the ball than Alex is, a little bit better at creating. He just looks a little bit more comfortable than Alex
for sure.
But Alex and Liam's defense is both so underrated. And of all those videos I sent to Liam, like if Jaden just needs to learn to just be that defensively. That's what Steph was, right? Steph didn't reach. Steph is super athletic, but he knew when to use his athleticism. I feel like Jaden just needs to learn to harness. Yeah, he just goes out there with so much energy. He leaves more to be desired, I guess.
What's up, Dan?
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Good, brother. How was the game?
Electric atmosphere in stores. It's raining /
Bro, stores is the worst service.
Yeah.
I love Dan, but like I want him to tell us what it was like, but it feels like every time he jumps on, we're having some technical difficulties. So stay in the chat, Dan. I'm going to bring in Quinn, and I'm going to mute you. Let's remove you. What's up, Quinn?
Hey, what's up, boys?
How we doing, brother?
Good, man. Yeah, so definitely thank God we pulled that one off because, Lord, we needed it.
Yes.
Man, this team is good, but there's definitely still some frustrations on my end watching them. I feel like Jay Ross definitely didn't have the best game. A lot of stupid turnovers, I feel like, on his part. Like you guys said, I was very surprised Ahmad did not get any minutes because I feel like he could really help this team out. So I don't really know what Dan's plan is with him, but I feel like he could be a big asset to us. Man, like you guys said, without Liam, I don't know if we would have won that game.
No.
He's their guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's become what Dan kind of thought when he brought him in here. He called him the most offensive ready recruit he's ever had in his career, right? Because he had Steph last year, who I feel like was an incredible like all-around player, and he probably could have done more offensively as we're watching right now with him, doing good stuff in San Antonio. but they didn't need him to do that. Like if Steph came in this year and this was the team, Steph would be a 22 and 10 guy, like easily.
Probably,
So that's the role that Liam's being asked to play, because they don't have the Cams, they don't have the Tristans. Like, even if you saw it, like I saw a couple people on Twitter be like, "Oh, I don't like that shot from Liam." I loved it, because you need someone to, when the shot clock's winding down, who's going to bail you out. Even if he misses, it doesn't matter. Like, now it feels like Liam is kind of like the alpha of the offensive side, and they're using him in that capacity where he's coming off screens. He's taking guys off the dribble and using his size, because if you're 6'8" and you're playing essentially the 2, you're always going to have mismatches with guards. I don't care who we play. You know, like everyone, I know Duke is playing Auburn right now, and they have probably the biggest positional size of anybody in the country. Even at 6'7", 6'8", you're still 3 inches taller than the closest number 2 that Duke has, to just give some reference. So, like, I'm cool with it, man. Like, that's what I want. Like, I've said this for a while now. Like, give me a point guard and then give me Liam, Jalen, Alex, and a big. And if you want to put 2 bigs in, cool, to give them more size and better offensive rebounding. But that's what I saw tonight.
I think that's what we kind of thought they would do, right? If they wanted to get size, would put Liam at the 2 and bring Ross out, or Stewart and Karaban's out. Well, you figured they'd have 3 big wings and Solo or Diarra out there, but they went with Sampson and Terrace. That was a shocker to me. I kind of almost want to rewatch it, because I didn't. Yeah, I was like so consumed by the game. Like, sometimes it's hard to like watch everything that's going on. That like I want to see how that went. See if that you. Like, I don't know. Do you think it's just something they did because Alex was out, or do you think that's something they'll do in the future?
It's a great question, man. I don't know. I think they may continue to do it because, dude, Dan's superstitious, right? He sees something that works.
Yeah,
he's probably going to do it.
They don't. There's like how many other teams can do that, right? Can throw out 2 6'10" guys, because Sampson's quick enough that he can recover, at least get back to the rim and make a block, right? Like.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting play. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely good to see Liam excelling this early on in the season, because without him, dude, this team would definitely be struggling a little bit more. I thought in the first half we really struggled getting the ball down to the big men.
Yes.
Thank God, like, Mahaney hit his threes. But I'd still like to see him, like, almost get more open, or like almost be more of like a Cam Spencer, where like I feel like get more shots up. I feel like, I mean, he gets what do you take, like 3 or 4 shots? I feel like tonight.
I think it was 3 for 4 from 3, and maybe did he get fouled on one? Maybe.
Yeah.
We're
still. Yeah, it was like
you're right. Like, they don't look for the bigs, and then you notice in the second half, like, or just maybe throughout the game, Haas was always looking for Sampson. And like there was that one play in the second half, I think, where Haas kind of threw it up, and I was like, "What's there?" And then all of a sudden, Sampson pops out, grabs it, and then slams it down. It's like shit. Like, sometimes it's kind of like, it's almost like playing quarterback, right? When you have like just throw it up there, because like, how many guys are as long and as athletic as Sampson? You're going to take that 50-50 ball, and if you get it, you're going to get a dunk.
Yeah, no.
Here's the I got the box score. So we got the minutes distribution was, and I'll tell you what Aidan shot, because Tyler's spot on. He was 3 for 4. But so you had Liam at 36 minutes, Solo at 30 minutes. These are all the starters. Jalen at 24 minutes, Sampson 22. And Haas was at 27 minutes. You had 28 minutes off the bench from Terrace Reed, so obviously playing starter minutes there. Jaden Ross gave you 15 minutes, some good, some bad. Mostly not so good. And then Aidan gave you really solid 18 minutes off the bench. So here's the deal. Aidan was 3 for 4, 3 for 4 from 3. I liked some of the once you hit a few threes, it's amazing. Even as a slower white guy like myself, you hit a couple threes, and all of a sudden they come up on you, and then you can go by people because they have to respect it, right? So he did that a couple times and drew some fouls. That was important. Terrace Reed was again pretty efficient, 3 of 6 from the field, made 3 of 4 of his free throws, had 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. Sampson had two blocks. Liam had a block. I mean, guys, actually Liam had 3 blocks. So here's the deal. As I said, this essentially validates Liam is the guy right now. 17 points, 8 rebounds, made all his free throws. But here's the thing. I don't think Dan's going to care about his efficiency. He was 5 of 13 from the floor. What does that tell you? That they didn't have other options to take difficult shots, and Liam was the guy to take those difficult shots.
Yeah, and Haas had to take in the first half. He took a shot at the end of the shot clock. Like,
yep,
you have to cut. You can't. You got to scrub that out. Yeah, you got to scrub that out.
But 7 of 10 from the free throw line. So Haas was at least getting himself to the free throw line, getting himself involved. It was an evenly distributed game. Like almost everybody that played except for Jaden had at least 6 points. So you had 8 guys played, 7 guys scored at least 6 points. You had Aidan and Terrace had both 9 points off the bench.
And what game was it that bad game before the Maui where Hurley said the comically bad? Was that Lemoyne?
Yeah. God, it was either Lemoyne or who was the other team they played? I mean, it feels honestly, guys, after this week of dealing with
whatever it was, they had like 19 turnovers that game. They had not.
Yeah, it was Lemoyne.
They had 7 or 8 turnovers this game. They did take care of the ball. So that's a positive to take. Like I feel like there's definitely moments like Ross. I felt like had 2 terrible turnovers where like just got to be better. And I think he will be better. But like they're taking care of the ball. That that's a sign of growth. And like the energy. There's no question about their energy and like their will to win. Or playing hard. But yeah, I don't know. Big win.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If we lost that one, I mean, you definitely get those thoughts in your head.
You'd be in trouble.
Like, oh yeah.
No, you'd be in trouble. You're 5-4, and like you haven't won a high major game.
Yeah.
But I will say this because we're
tough, man. Our
seeing some dudes in the chat saying this, and then I know Quinn, you mentioned this earlier about like how you felt like they were looking for guys inside. I thought that when they brought in or when he re-entered the game, when Jalen Sword entered the game, there was some good high-low action between Jalen Sword and Terrace Reed. I think Jalen Sword is as Tyler posted to me earlier, like he's a tremendous passer, but I've always thought he was super underrated as a distributor. So like I feel like there's some of that we're seeing, and it doesn't always have to be the point guards. It's nice if it is. I'd love for Haas to have. He had 7 assists. I mean, that's also the crazy thing is like sometimes you look at the box score and it's like, really, Haas had 7 assists? Like that's the wild stuff.
No, but
he was quiet tonight.
With Stewie, like I feel like Stewie is you can tell he's just really trying to like read the defense and make the right play. And I feel like there's other players out there that aren't doing that. And like he's, and they're just not all there in offense. But Stewie, he's the one who seems to get it. Like he's playing really well. I really like the minutes that they're getting from Stewie.
Absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm going to do last call for anybody that wants to jump on here. I'm going to drop you guys off for 2 seconds. If you want to stay on, go ahead. I'm just going to do a quick ad and mute your mics for a second. Hang for a minute. Let's see here. We're going to do a FanDuel ad. No, that's not it. There it is. Let's go right now. What's up, everybody? You guys know about FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets if they win their first $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. This is the same app where if you take it right now, you can actually watch a live game. So if we look at some live games right now, let's look at it. If we're on FanDuel right now and you say, oh, man, Baylor and Auburn is probably – I haven't looked at the FanDuel ads right now, but if you wanted to bet that live, you could. And you could actually watch the game live on your phone as you make these live bets. You could do every possession. It's actually pretty intuitive and pretty cool. So if this is something that you want to do and you are a new customer, you get $150 in bonus bets. Just win that first $5 bet and you get squared away. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NFL. All right, let's bring some folks back in. We got Tyler still in here hanging out with his dog. Let's get Cowboy Adama. How we doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm also going to get Justin in here because we could have like a little mini spaces because Justin's jumped in and out, and I think he wants to jump in. What up, Justin?
What's up, guys? Hard fought.
Everybody, give me what you got. We got Cowboy, we got Justin.
I'm super quick. I just wanted to say this is like the biggest win in my estimation in the regular season since like 2022 Villanova. At least in terms of how it's making me feel right now. So super pumped.
Giving you all the warm and fuzzies?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just to see the boys getting back on track and had a few guys look great tonight. Sampson looked awesome. Terrace looked real well. And and I thought Liam was a stud tonight. So, yeah, I'm
Absolutely, brother.
just super excited for the rest of the next week or so to come and see what we got. So,
absolutely, dude. Well, listen, you're my guy. Really appreciate you jumping on really quick, and you can always reach out, and want you to obviously do coming on the live shows when we do it.
All right, man. Thanks for having me. We'll see you.
Appreciate you. All right, Justin, what you got, brother?
Hard fought battle tonight. I love the double coming back twice. I think they were down 10 twice in the first half. Thought
11.
Just fighting back was great.
Yeah.
And my issue is like Sampson, like he feels like he's fouled out half the games this year. Like,
don't you think though, Justin? Like tonight was a little different because it was at the end of the game, and it was like almost like, I mean, listen,
Quality
he always gets the one, and I'm just singling him out because we heard him tonight. He always gets the one James Breeding call where he like literally does nothing and they give him the foul. So he only really has 4 fouls to play with, if we're being honest,
probably.
right?
So he's got to be better about that though. Like they have to, I don't know if Hurley has to just say they're obviously targeting you maybe even
easily.
After Maui, they certainly were, but it's just got to get ahead. But I got to run, guys. I got to make dinner. But thanks again. Great job.
Yeah, regarding Sampson, he's always leaving his feet, and once you leave your feet, you're vulnerable to foul.
For sure. All right, Soki, what you got?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good, you?
Good. I kind of like the 2 big man lineup. It was actually kind of nice to see. It seemed very, players didn't want to go towards the post, or towards the middle of the rim, drive towards the rim, which was nice to see because it looked like a lot of stuff when Sampson starts, when they drive to the rim, I think they know that Sampson's going to jump. So it's one of those things where it's just like, get him off his feet. I'll get an and one, or I'll get, 2 foul shots easily, and his active hands too. He's got to stop trying to poke out the ball a lot. I think he just gets a lot of fouls trying to poke at the ball, which he had a really good steal tonight, which was actually really nice to see. But I think it's just the hands and staying up. I know he's got to stay up straight because he can block anybody going out one-on-one. But once it's in the post, you got to kind of just stand tall and stand your ground.
100%.
1,000%. Well, listen, guys.
He did have the nice play where, and I wonder, the guys should do this more often. Where you're in the post, right, and the guy's like banging you to establish position, and then remember Sampson kind of pulled back, and it was Omier, and they called him for a travel.
Yeah, so he kind of like pulled the chair away from him.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I'd love to see that more.
Yeah,
exactly. Agreed.
That was a good.
He has best game tonight. He has best game of the season, so I can't complain too much.
All right, so real quick before we go, let's give it a rundown if people are on here and they're not paying attention to this. So you got Iowa State's beating Marquette 68-61. Memphis is, this is just top 25.
Is Creighton still winning?
Creighton's up 10 at half.
Okay. This
is the wildest score for me, and I don't know much about Pittsburgh, this team, but Mississippi State is up 34-15. Wow. If the ACC is going to lose all of these games to the SEC, you got to wonder about, like, are these – I get it. Like, some of these games are kind of outliers. Like and if we had my guy Evan Maya on, I'd love to have him on again this year to analyze these kind of like Big 12, Big East challenges, SEC, ACC, because some of them are outliers, but some of them are patterns. Like some of them is just one conference is just a lot better than the other.
Yeah, the ACC. Also remember what was it, like 15 years ago when all those teams broke off from the Big East and went to ACC? Pittsburgh,
Miami,
Pittsburgh.
Louisville.
No, Miami was before that. It was Pittsburgh,
Louisville, Syracuse.
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 Went to the Big 12. But yeah, all those programs have like fallen off since that move.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh itself is Jeff Capel's not a bad coach. He's capable, and they've had some decent teams. They had a decent team last year. I think it's mind-boggling to me. Like even if you look at, Auburn's number 1 in the country or number 2. And they're up on Duke on the road, which was, I'm probably going to sound like a homer here because I hate Duke, but shocking to me that just because they're playing in Cameron, that they were a 4-point underdog going into this game, just like makes absolutely no sense.
Whenever they get a close game, it's just their call is give it to Cooper and everybody else get out of the way.
Wait, Duke was underdog in this game?
Yeah. No,
really?
they're getting point. They're giving points.
Wow.
So Duke was a 4-point favorite in this game.
Wait, hold on. Auburn's a 4-point favorite.
No, dude, I'm telling you.
Oh, watch. Duke is home. Duke is home.
I know that, but Duke's not. Is Duke like number 1 in the country?
Hold on. No. I expected. Hold on. Duke is favored by 4, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at I logged into my FanDuel account. Got my FanDuel sponsor right here. pretty sure because I did
Duke was 3.5. 3.5 for Duke. Yeah, no,
I had 4. Yeah, but still, I mean, that's crazy. Like, and honestly, if you're whether you're a Duke fan or a Duke hater or a UConn fan and you hate Duke, like, I'm just saying, you could win money on Duke all year, either plus or minus, because the spreads are always inflated because it's Duke. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing though. Like, there is no elite team this year. Like Auburn, if Auburn wins this game, they'd have the most impressive resume. But they're also, like, they don't, like, I don't know how much growth that team has, right? Like, they're kind of, like, I don't know how much better they'll be from now in March, between now and March. I think a lot of teams will kind of close the ground.
Yeah.
All right, so Silky, I'm going to drop you here. I'm going to bring in my boy Joey Bilbon's in here walking around. Let's see what he's got going on. What's up, dude?
What's up, brother? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
How we doing? Good.
Doing great. Just got back from the game. I was courtside, watched it. A lot of stuff that you were saying, you guys hit on a lot of points. I was surprised Noel didn't get in, but I understood it. I mean, I think a lot because one, I would have used him in the beginning, starting the game, because I feel like they needed that point guard to really set it off. But I mean, they bounced back. It was a great game to show that they had the toughness to finish through and get it over the hump. A lot of the calls too, I was noticing, was when their hands go vertical, when their hands don't stay up and go horizontal, they're getting those calls. A lot of the bad calls were the head fakes when the hands look like they were like a foul, but it wasn't. But I give it to the refs because you can't see that unless they review it.
Exactly.
You're so spot on. Like, when we're talking about walling up, like one of my biggest issues I have right now with this team and in the discipline of it is, like, Solo is a great example of it. He beats guys to the spot, and then if a guy jumps into you, if your hands are up and they jump into you and they still call a foul, then fine. That's on the rep. But if your hands are down and they're down by their hands, even if you don't reach, they're going to assume that you're doing it, and they call it anyway. And that happened 100%. A couple times.
Even you saw on the ticky-tack calls for Samson Johnson. I mean, he just got to keep his hands up. If he keeps his hands up, he's not going to get those foul calls. But anytime you put the hands vertical like that, you're going to get those calls. But I mean, it was a great win, great comeback. I mean, it was nice. It was nice actually. UConn getting foul calls. I was like, wow, we're not fouling.
We're at home.
We're
at home. I was like, in the beginning, I was kind of worried, but yeah,
and also, can we talk about this, Joey, real quick? Because I saw it, and if you were there at courtside, you probably saw it even better than us. Like, I'm watching the game, and they showed a promo and or like a replay of at the timeout when Dan Hurley was complaining. The only time he went kind of nuts on the officials was on the Aidan Mahaney blocking call.
100%.
But he also showed him being like smiling and putting his arms around the officials. And Bill Raftery made a great point. These officials know him. They're not going to tee him up unless he does something egregious. And so it was very, very telling, because this whole week I've done shows and I've had to respond to these a-holes out there that are like, oh, Dan Hurley's so embarrassing, blah, 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 blah. It's like, come on, guys. Like, are we serious?
He's intense. And you saw that this game is a lot more laid back, because I've seen every game. Diehard fan, just like that, and I've watched it, and he gets fired up for the right reasons. You've seen these calls that they're calling, they're egregious, but I'm glad this game you saw he dialed it back. He kind of gets heated where it's kind of like stacks on, where he just gets more and more like that tech. He's like, I don't even want to hear a call, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want to swear on your show. He's like,
yeah, please.
But no, you saw it. This was a great game, and I liked that when you're talking about the two big lineup with Samson and Harris, and you saw it reminded me of the old school UConn. It reminded me of those old school Calhoun days when you got two big men in. But that really, I think that
Armstrong and Boone, I'm thinking of the two.
Dude, I was thinking Villanueva and Boone myself. But
yeah. This is the team right here. This is a Ben Gordon jersey. So same team. There we go.
Let's go.
All right. Hey, Joe, I gotta put you on the spot, man. Are you gonna sponsor our live shows, man? You wanna come? You wanna get Joey's Bail Bonds to sponsor the show?
I mean, listen. I'll throw a little money. I get it. I was like, hey, as long as
we gotta have a conversation offline, dude.
I know. I saw the DMs. I think I slid in. You was fine. I just didn't respond back. So I was like, all right, let me think about it.
All good.
Yeah, definitely. Listen. I have nothing more respect. Love your shows. Just really calling on to it this season. I listen to them after every game, and I really appreciate what you're doing. I love it. It's awesome. I'm at my brother's bar right now. I just got back from. So yeah. But
well, hey, what? Cheers to you. I don't have tequila. Tequila's downstairs.
Appreciate it.
Beers
up
here.
Hey, what's up, right guy? 1 second, brother. Yeah.
But yeah, man, listen, anytime you want to jump on, you let me know.
I just found out about the chat and how to jump on and see it. But yeah, I'm courtside and I see it firsthand. I love hearing the reviews and what you got. Definitely, bro. Like it's interesting. It's gonna be a run. I like this week in the lineup. It's exactly same thing you said about when Aidan got fired up, just seeing Hurley being his biggest fan and just
Dude,
I loved it. I
awesome.
loved it. It just so like this team is very similar to like that 2022, 2023 team where they're just going to get better at time. Yeah, they're going to have to figure stuff out. But for us, it's about locking in that offense. Because if anyone says that we thought after that Marquette loss, when you saw Hawkins not know he had to take the shot, that we win a national championship, you're a liar. You're 100% a liar.
Yep.
It's that evolution, that domino effect is like, get us to the tourney. Let's figure it out. Let's lock ourselves in and play the best basketball we can and just go from there. And then hope we get favorable seeds and favorable stuff like that too. But it's gonna be a dogfight. I mean, Creighton looks good, and it's really this team's gonna flow through is we gotta solidify inside out game. That's one thing you don't see. And we're only gonna go as far as Samson Johnson not fouling out. If he learns, and I said this, I would tape his arms up all practice and just like like listen, this is how you're gonna play and just learn to play. But we're really going to
learn how to play. Learn how to play in a phone booth. Essentially, like that's
100%. They got to establish Terrace Reed earlier in the game. I mean, they were
double teaming him. They were bullied. They were not letting that ball get inside to him.
Yeah, I got to rewatch it because I feel like there's times where he gets the ball and I'm just like, there's nothing there, and then he just.
Dude, how about the one play in the first half where they finally looked for him because he had a mismatch and 3 dudes like knocked it out of bounds because they all reacted to the throw.
Oh, or how about the ballerina shot he made? Like just. Well, like
once, are you talking about the one where he just pawed it and then just turned?
He pawed it, turned it, just like off balance, like threw it in. It's amazing. I mean,
he's an incredible athlete for his size.
100%. And also, what you were saying about having that where Johnson cannot have to be that guy, that really is going to benefit him, and also might keep him out of foul trouble. You might see that lineup going forward and going forward stuff because it really helps him. Hopefully, keep him out of foul trouble. But
even just for like we said, like 10-minute, like a 10-minute stretch, just to kind of just to expand the game because obviously, look, he fouled. I think he fouled out in the 38th minute of the game. So like it wasn't like that. It wasn't like it was egregious. Like I feel like
no, it wasn't that bad. It didn't put it. I think it was a minute 30 left or something like that. And they brought Stewart in, and they were switching back and forth. The interesting thing is, but who do you take out if you're going to do that lineup? Where do you take care? Do you take Karaban out, or do you put him out?
That's what I'm wondering.
Forward. That's what I'm mentioning. Like, who should you go? So do you go Reed?
You
Johnson,
leave Karaban in.
Karaban. You leave Karaban in. McNeeley, and then who's playing the point? Solo or
no? I think you put one of the guards who can run it better. I think right now Solo hasn't proven that.
100%. So that's what I'm interested too. Is like interesting, like where that dynamic goes and how it's going to work. But I can't wait to see it.
What about this lineup? Diarra at the 1, Liam at the 2, Karaban at the 3, Samson at the 4, Terrace at the 5.
Yeah,
you'd be huge.
Yeah, I like it, and also too touching back on Hassan, he's not getting those wide open plays where when you put him in as a point guard, he's really that 5th option where he's getting that open 3, banging it down, quick shots. He's not getting that anymore, and that's what you're seeing too. It's because now he really has to make his own shot instead of being that 3rd, 5th pass, boom, open shot, hits it, or then dribble and drive, steal, but. They'll figure it out. I mean, Hurley will lock him in and just taking this good win and hopefully just compounding it and going forward.
And this is the beauty of this is, and let me tell you this because I have to, I'm gonna have to end this show soon because I'm gonna have to go and I'm getting a text message from my wife that's like, "Hey, when are you finished?" Because we got young kids. So
100%, brother.
No, but what I will say is before we end the show is, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Is look, this win also validates Hurley a little bit because if they lose that game and he doesn't play Ahmad Noel, he doesn't play Isaiah Abraham, he doesn't play a lot of these young guys who are looking to kind of crack this lineup, then he can't say, well, we tried, but we couldn't get you in. Now it's like, listen, guys, this stuff worked tonight. And so you may have to wait your turn a little longer. And that's fine. And these guys, when that happens, guys buy in. When teams win, as you just saw the last 2 years, you typically get guys to stay because they want to be a part of it. When teams
100%.
lose, then you have one foot out the door being like, hey, where can I transfer to kind of get more playing time?
Well, I think that's part of what he's building, right? He wants to honor the guys who have been here. That's why Samson's probably still part of the reason.
But they have to win, though. Like, that's what I'm saying, Tyler. Like, totally. as long as they win.
Yeah, totally. But like, maybe he doesn't think that that the advantage of starting Terrace is large enough to not honor, give Samson.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And like,
100%.
I think he's trying to build that program that's like the next man up. Like, wait your turn,
100%.
learn, and you're gonna be the next guy up.
I've said this. This is probably one of the deepest and most athletic teams UConn's had in a while, but I don't know how that's going to attribute to wins. And this win also validates us still being in the top 25 after losing 3 games in a row.
Yeah, well, I think what we're seeing is that like this is from like a pedigree standpoint, from like a recruiting prospect standpoint.
Yep.
This is the deepest 1 through 12. But like, there's just what we're seeing is that like, just because you have the best players doesn't mean you can necessarily produce the best basketball on the court. And these guys are still learning how to play with each other. You see all the time. There's just like, there's like these awkward moments on the floor where they're not they get like caught up, you know, too many men in one space kind of thing, not making the right reads. And like
exactly.
In the first half, well, it was a solo cut, and the guy, who was it, Liam or someone, just threw it straight out of bounds. Remember that?
Right.
Like, they're not on the same team. And that comes with practice. But without a doubt, this is a talented roster.
That's also comes with game reps. I think you saw that one play where Ross didn't know what to do and tried to throw it to Mahaney, and he just stayed too close to his man, where you have that half court back up so he can throw it over the defender's head. Yes. And you kind of saw that with the rest. Like Luke was like, hey, you got to back up. You can't just, if he's stretching, you got to understand to be quarterback and be a receiver and just, hey, reset.
Speaking of Ross, like I feel like there was, Hurley was kind of talking him up before the season started about, remember he made that comment about like, oh, he looked like a lottery pick.
Yep.
And so I think Ross is he's incredibly athletic, whereas Stewart is less athletic. But you see Stewart, like I feel like Stewart he's really understanding the offense. Like I see him always trying to make the right read, and he's a good passer. Whereas Ross is out there always trying to make that monster play. Yeah. And like Mark, those videos, the clips I sent you on Twitter, like there's no reason why Ross can't defend like Liam did in those clips. Absolutely no reason why he can't. He just has to do it, right? And stop making a big play and just keep his man.
It's also he doesn't play that much. So when he's out there, he feel like he's trying to prove himself instead of like 100%. Just relax. Just relax. Like don't try to run.
Look.
Yeah, lost him.
We lost you, man.
Well, he's making a good point. I agree with him 100%.
He was making a good point.
Yeah, is that
all
Ross?
Right,
Joey.
Peace, dude. We're gonna talk soon.
All right,
I'll be back. Peace.
Later.
But to finish his point, he's spot on. I've like Ross just comes in with all his energy. Yeah, because he's trying to prove himself. And like, he just needs to unwind, it seems like a little bit, and let the game come to him.
Absolutely. All right, guys, listen. That was a great win. I'm gonna drop off. I know I see some people on, but I can't get to everybody tonight. We're trying to keep it under an hour most of the times. I'm super pumped. I think this is a great building block. I think we're on our way. I think Dan Hurley is going to absolutely be confident, but also a little critical on little things and kind of, talk about some of those moments that I talked about, those opportunities for us to stretch these leads out and get some more stops and get some more conversions to get a 7-point lead turns into 10 point goes to 12, which is the staple of the last 2 seasons. And I think we're going to start seeing that more. That's going to start to build a little more.
Build your armor. Build the armor. Be bulletproof.
Be bulletproof. Exactly. All right, guys. Well, listen. Thanks for being a part of the show. Tyler, as always, appreciate you, man. Listen, this has been another episode of Locked On UConn. We'll see you again for the Texas game. And if you guys are UConn women's fans, I'll see you tomorrow night after they play Louisville, I believe, or Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. My days are all screwed up. But anyway, I'll probably see you again before then real soon. As always, go Huskies.
Take care.